Welcome back to Tipsy Tailgate Media. I'm Aiden,
I am Ben.
and we're here for NFL Week 5. Excited to bring you another pod. We're talking football like usual. Week 5 is coming along. Thursday Night Football is tonight, but we will be touching on the Sunday games and Monday Night Football as well. So, first off, we want to say we are presented by Thrive Fantasy, the proud partners of the Jags, the Chargers, but now most importantly, Tipsy Tailgate Media. So go ahead, head over to the
Obviously.
link in our bio. Easily the biggest option
Obviously.
there. Go ahead, head to the link in our bio below, or thrivefantasy.com and use promo code Tipsy when you sign up. You're going to want to deposit at least $25 into your account, and the lovely people over at Thrive are going to match that 100%. In fact, they're going to match any deposit up to $250 100%. So go ahead, place as much as you want in there with a minimum of 25 and deposit it using promo code Tipsy. As I said, you're going to place a bet on the NFL, the MLB. There's postseason going on as well. Week 5 NFL, whatever you're feeling the mood for, go ahead, place a bet on that. They give out some of the best payouts in the entire industry. And if you sign up, deposit $25, place your $50 bet thanks to Thrive, and you lose, you can move on with your day knowing that you did Tipsy and your boys at Tipsy a favor. Now, if you do win, then I feel like, at least our experience, we've had a great time with Thrive. So you can go and you can keep playing. But the biggest thing to know is you're going to want to go and head over to Tipsy Tailgate Media at Instagram. Go ahead and DM us with proof that you placed that $25 bet using code Tipsy before October 15th to enter into a cash giveaway. $150 going to be given out over on a giveaway based on the many people that are DMing us on Tipsy Tailgate Media. So go ahead and head over there. Thrive is live in the available states listed in the description. So go out and check the link in our bio and enjoy the show because, listen, we're having a great time hosting you guys. So, we appreciate any support or help that you can go ahead and give us. So thanks to Thrive. And without further ado, let's get into Week 5 NFL. The boys stayed hot last week. Benny had a good slate. I went 5-1 on picks. We've just been really hot this year. I mean, the picks have been sensational so far. Ben, is there anything you want to say on that front?
I'm not surprised. Um, we're clearly the smartest people and most qualified people to do what we do. And, that's why we do it. So I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised.
Yeah, so I mean, you gotta start taking our picks. I mean, if you think they're
I mean,
they're solid,
if you have a brain cell, sure.
if
Sure.
you think they're solid, we trust your opinion. But I mean, we think we've been hitting on some pretty
Think,
solid.
Aiden, the proof's in the pudding.
The proof is there. I mean,
We don't think anything, we know.
if you're going off numbers, Ben, I am now 15-10-1 on the year, and you're now 12-11. We're both over 500,
There you go.
which in betting is anytime you're at or over 500, you're looking pretty good. So
There
the
you go.
fact that we're both over is a big sign. And then a real quick Pat's picks check-in of the week. We
Ugh.
are both 2 for 2 on predicting the Pats wins and losses. Um, we're gonna get into the Pats game, and
No,
it's
we can skip that one this week. We can skip
or we
that one.
might skip it because it was
They're gonna lose to Nola. They're gonna lose to Nola. They're gonna lose.
okay.
They're,
So this
they're not winning.
so we're gonna touch on that in just a second. That'll be the third game we touch on, but we're gonna go ahead and start with the Buffalo Bills coming off a huge win over the Dolphins. Jags at Buffalo. Buffalo is 5-point favorites there. 48 is the over under. What do we think here with this game, Ben? Do you like the Jags to keep it closer to pull this one out, or do you think the Bills will run away with it?
I like the Jags. I like the Jags to win this game. As you just said, Buffalo with that huge win over Miami that they had to have, especially given that Miami got off to the hot start that they did, and Buffalo dropping that first game to the Jets, which was just inexcusable on their part for where they want to go. But I'm going to go with the Jags. I think a common theme with me, Aiden, as you know, is if the talent is somewhat similar and one team needs the win way more, I'm going to go with that team. So I'm going to go with the Jags. It's kind of my formula that's been working for me this year, the team that needs it more. So I'm going to go with the Jags to win this one. I think Trevor's going to have a huge week. Josh Allen, I think he's due for another stinker. He's been playing really clean football ever since that Jets game, nearly flawless or just flawless football ever since then. So I think that the Jags are due for a big win, and I think the Bills are due for a bit of a dud.
Yeah, that's interesting. This has been one of the games that I've been going back and forth with for a little bit now, and I can't really lay my fingers on what it is, but I'm this has been probably one of the hardest games for me to predict on the slate. I think what I'm going to say here is 5 is a decent amount of points. Usually you're only seeing 5 in a game where the other team is not good. And the Jags are a good team. With that said, I
Or
don't
so we
know.
think.
Yeah,
Or so we think.
exactly. Or so we think and we expect for them this season. But when you're looking at it, in my opinion, I think the Jags aren't going to be able to keep up with the scoring that the Bills can keep up with. So it's going to come down to, like you said, Josh Allen and his turnovers. Now, if Allen is playing clean football again, there's a chance that they could,
Yeah,
double
for
this
sure.
line. They could
For
win by
sure.
two scores.
Yeah, it definitely
There's
is. And
yeah,
and I think the key, as we both just said, if you're the Jags, you need Josh Allen to throw at least one pick. At least one.
yeah. You're gonna need to force a turnover.
And if he throws two, you have to return one to the house. So that's kind of a lot of variables that need to go Jacksonville's way. But then again, it's Josh Allen who hasn't had an ugly throw in seemingly 3 weeks, and he's usually due for far more than that within a 3 week span. So I say we see a few of them this weekend.
Yeah. So if I had to go ahead and pick this game, I'm not super confident, but I'm gonna go ahead and say the Bills are gonna win this game. I'm not gonna take the points there. I don't think they win by 5. I think it's a close game. I think there's potential that they do win by upwards of 10. The Bills. I just you know I want to believe in the Jags so much, but I just want them to show me like their
At this point,
dominance.
what have they
Like,
shown you? Like they
yeah,
haven't shown it yet.
I want to see like a 3 week consistent, like, that's a good win, that's a good win, that's a good win. And then I'll start believing fully because I want to believe in this team. But I feel like once I get too high on them, they have a bad loss, like,
But I mean,
so
hey, it's not dissimilar from last year. Every time they would show a flash here and there, I think people forget
yeah.
that they did go 9-8. It's not like they went 11-6 and then steamrolled through the playoffs. They did go 9-8, made it in,
Hmm.
and then nearly got blown out in their first playoff game before that miraculous win. So maybe that's what this Jaguars team is. Maybe they are up and down. Maybe they're not the most consistent club, but they still have the high end talent that can pop up out of nowhere.
See, now what is it though? Is it the playmakers of the Jags? Is it the trenches? Or and the defense, or is it Trevor Lawrence? Like, what's holding back this team from getting to the next level? Because the defense, I don't think has been that bad. I know Trayvon Walker seems like
I
he was a
mean,
missed number one pick. He's just not getting the pressure that you want out of a former number one pick. But I don't. I mean, what do you think this is? I mean, I don't think Trevor's been as good
is
as
it
he could be.
is
You
it a
know,
cop out to say it's all of it?
I mean, no,
I
it's
think
possible. Yeah.
I think every position or every high level elite position that you think they would have isn't as consistent as they need to be a 12-5 team, which is what a lot of people were picking them to be, between 11 and 12 wins and go on a
Hmm.
deep playoff run. Maybe it's that they're too young, they're just not ready for it, or maybe they are just an inconsistent group. And listen, we've seen this before with Doug Peterson. Was he always unreal in Philadelphia? No. No. The year after they won the Super Bowl, they went 9 and
Hmm.
8, or 9-7 rather.
Yeah.
So it's not like Doug Peterson has this
Agree.
reputation for
That's a good
being
point.
the
Yeah.
most full blown, consistent. We're gonna go 11-5, 11-6 every single year. It's not what he's been, and it's not what the Jags have been. So maybe we did screw up our expectations of them a little bit.
It's a good point. This is a big game for them. Big game. Let's go on to this next one. Giants at Miami. They're going against the Dolphins here. Dolphins are 11-point favorites. Uh,
Yeah,
48 and a half is the over under. The Giants look really bad, man. Like,
yeah,
so bad that like an in-season change somewhere like is
Well,
pretty
it's not going to
obviously
be
going to
Dable.
happen.
It's
Yeah,
not going to be
no,
Dable.
it won't be Dable. I mean, it could be on the defensive side. Um, it could be on the offensive side. I
It's
mean,
not going to be Daniel Jones
it
either.
could be. I mean, it. Who knows?
It's
I mean, it could be a management thing. I mean, the O line that they put together. I mean, I don't know how you felt confident at this O line and at some point for it to come into the season and be this tragic.
yeah,
How do
it's
you go into a
horrible.
season? At least something must have went wrong. Something had to have went wrong where they thought they had enough pieces on the O line to make a decent
Well,
run at the
I
playoffs this
mean,
year.
one of the one of their highest draft picks from the past few years was supposed to be their best O lineman, and he stinks. Not to pile on to Evan Neal, he stinks. He isn't good. Some of his lowlights from last week were flat out embarrassing,
Yeah.
like so
What
embarrassing. He
was
had
he?
no clue what he was doing. No
Is that?
clue.
I'm not sure if it was him. I think it might have been him. Was it? Did you see the clip when he blocked his own?
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, yeah, that was him, right? That he blocked
I
his
believe he
own
blocked his own
player.
running back or tight end, something
He
like
like
that.
blocked him off a block that led to the sack.
It was unbelievable. It was so embarrassing to
Yeah,
watch. I got secondhand embarrassment from watching him play in that game. And then, you see him after he's chirping Giants fans. He's chirping people who are saying that he's not playing well. Let's have a little bit of self awareness and a little bit of accountability.
well,
You're not good.
yeah.
You're not a
Well,
good football player.
agreed. And the thing that really stood out was, um, you know, you play that bad, you got to expect some type of kickback on it.
Especially
But the
given the
biggest, yeah,
context.
exactly. But
You're a high pick in New
yeah,
York for the Giants.
and the biggest thing was he said he went on and he called his the Giants fans, people that
Yeah.
were giving him hate. He was like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing? What is your job? Your sheep." He said the
Yeah.
lion doesn't listen to the sheep or something like that. So
Yeah.
like the people that are paying your bills, pretty much the people that
Literally.
are going and watching you and putting money
Exactly.
in your pockets, you're gonna disrespect them. I mean,
Yeah, I've really never understood
it's a
that
bad look.
from a player's perspective. I understand that fans go too far. It's the famous
Yeah.
line from Colin Cowherd: "Fan is short for fanatic."
Mhm.
They're an irrational, emotional group of people who love their team, and deep down, they love you. And the reason that they're so upset with you is because they love you so much, and they feel like you've betrayed them with the way you're playing. That's how bad you've been. Put it in that context, Evan Neal. You have been so bad that those diehard fans feel betrayed by you. You've been that bad.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting situation over there in New York, and one that I can't really see getting much better. I mean, unless Daniel
Where do they
Jones
go? Where do they
somehow,
go?
yeah, like I don't know what happened. I mean,
I really don't see where they go.
Saquon could is gonna help, but the thing is,
How much
you need
longer is he going to be
whole. Well, yeah,
healthy?
exactly. I mean, health is one thing that I've always preached with Saquon, and then the other thing is he no running back is O line proof. There's no running
Right.
back that you could just give with a terrible O line and they're going to give you good games. It's impossible. You need
You
open
need some
holes.
sort
You
of
need
blocking. You
yeah,
need
exactly. You
something.
need protection. And he can go and get as many 2 yard out routes or flat routes and checkdowns as he wants. But all that's doing is it's been getting him hurt. It's been getting him 6 catches for 25 yards. Like that's not going to do anything. That's not what your star running back's for. So
Right.
I really don't think his addition is going to make all of the difference for them. It's deeper than just that. But let's get into this game. What do we think here? Dolphins are 11-point favorites. 48 and a half is the over under. I'm almost considering going over 48 and a half because I think the Dolphins might drop a 40 piece. But I haven't made my decision yet. What do you think?
Oh, I'm taking the over, and the Dolphins are going to cover.
Yeah.
I think both of those hit. I think you just said it. I think Miami's going to drop 45 on them in this game. And then the Giants, get two crappy ass touchdowns? Make it a
Yeah.
30,
I mean,
31-point game. They're going to get
yeah.
slaughtered. The Giants are going to get destroyed in this game.
Yeah, the one thing is just I don't, and it's almost disrespectful. I don't trust the Giants enough to.
Score points to get the over.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's either the Dolphins do it themselves or
you saw them do it against the Cowboys. They lost 40-0.
I mean, what's that stat I saw where what was it, first quarters or first halves? They scored like what 3 points all of, was
Yeah,
it something crazy like
it
that?
was
Did you
it
see
was
that?
something where they've scored like 3 or 10, and what they've had like
Oh my god.
100 dropped on them in the first half, something like that.
So bad. Yeah, like something's going on there.
It's not Dable. It's not Dable.
I
It
mean,
can't
have
be.
you ever seen a coach of the year and then from coach of the year to like potentially like being talked about being the issue? Like,
This is
is
it.
there
I'm
any?
I'm really happy that you posted that clip the other. Okay, in saying this, I'm not putting Monday night completely on Daniel Jones because he got sacked 10 times. What are
Yeah,
you supposed to do? You
there
got
was
sacked
other
10
factors.
times. But we did say he's not the kind of quarterback that you give 45 mil. He's not that guy. You
No.
don't do that. You're taking away from assets that you can add to the team. He's the kind of guy that needs assets on his team to find the success that he wants to.
Yep.
And look what's
Look what's
happened.
happening.
Look
Yeah.
what's happened. So, yeah, we were right about that one for sure.
Completely agree. Another tipsy check mark right there. Off to this next one. We got a good one here, Benny. You ready? Saints,
No,
Patriots.
no.
Saints are heading to Foxborough, and they're going to be going up. Right now, see, the line's been interesting. So the line that I have here is Patriots are 1 point underdogs. Let me go check the live
It
one
should
right
be
now
15-point
because
underdogs.
no, because I know there has been a lot of line movement on this one, Ben, and I don't know if you'd be surprised or not. Let
And
me
I'm
let
not
me
going
see
to
what
lie
this
to
line's
you.
at right now.
I don't care. I don't care. They
Guess it. Are
are,
we favorites or underdogs?
I will guess underdogs.
Yeah, so we are 1 point underdogs. What I had was right. 1 point underdogs at home to the Saints. 39's the over under.
Isn't that embarrassing? Isn't that
It's
embarrassing? You're home. You're home against the New Orleans Aints, and you're an underdog. How how much have you fallen for that to be the case? How bad are you for that to be the case? This
yeah.
team has no talent. They have no talent. With Judon and Gonzalez getting hurt, they have no high end talent. None whatsoever. I've always said I'm a big Mac Jones fan. Aiden, have you ever heard me put in the word elite with Mac Jones?
No.
No. No. He's good. He's very good. When he's playing well, he's very good. He's not a high end talent quarterback. Hunter Henry, you've heard me talk about him. Have I ever said elite about Hunter Henry?
No.
No. No. That's not high end talent. The O line. This is the worst O line I have ever seen in New England in my 22 years of living. They stink. They stink. They can't block. Ramondre Stevenson is a good running back, and he can't get anywhere past 1 yard. That's not on him. It's not his burst. It's not his speed. It's not his power. It's the O line. The O line can't block. They can't block for Mac. They can't block for Ramondre. They have no receiver talent. None. None. Kendrick Bourne has disappeared since Philadelphia. Disappeared since that game. Mike Gesicki has been their like second best player on offense behind Hunter Henry, and I think he has 9 combined catches from all the games. So there's that. Christian Gonzalez out for the season. Out for the season. Easily your best young player. Was probably your second best player so far. Matt Judon, your bar none most talented and best player. He's out for 2 months. Okay, that's good. That's really fun. That's awesome. Bill Belichick, where you been? Where you been, Bill? Where you been? Sunday against Dallas. It wasn't even the team looked awful. It was horribly coached and horribly managed. And I know you can say, well, Mac turned the ball over 3 times. Sure, he did. He did. Did you feel confidence? Did you feel confident once during that game? No. No, you
Nope.
didn't. Because they have no talent. The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of talent. And Bill Belichick thinks he's coaching a league where he can outsmart talent. You can't do that anymore. It's not how the league works. The league's been trending that way for 6 years now. He's able to cover it up a little bit for the first 4 years of that. Last 2, no way. Couldn't do it. Has no talent. Doesn't spend money on talent. doesn't add offensive talent. The main problem with this team is talent. I've said it a million times, and I'm going to say it again. They have no fucking talent at all, anywhere. No speed, really no youth, especially with Gonzalez out. You trade for J.C. Jackson, okay. Is he going to turn into J.C. Jackson from 3 years ago? No. No, he's not. You ruined Mac Jones with Matt Patricia as his OC. Season's over. This team sucks. They're going to lose by 14 this week. They're bad. They're a bad team. They're bad. They're bad. There's what else do you want me to say? They're not good. They're not a good team. They're really not. What do you look at on that team and say, "Wow, that's good. They got something there."
No, I mean you're right. You're right on a lot of what you just said there. The things that I will the thing that I will say here is one with the O line here. Like there were expectations of this line being pretty solid going into the year. Obviously, Isaiah Wynn is gone. You got starters from the left to right side that are either have done good things for us in the past or have been doing good things for us recently. Through and through. And if each of them were healthy, there was an idea of okay, we could have a good, sensible O line, and it's not been the case. We haven't been able to pass block. We haven't been able to run block, and I think for this offense, the rush attack is the most important thing to start out because
Yeah.
if Ramondre's not cooking, if
No one is.
exactly, if we're not getting the play action game going through the run, there's no offense here. I mean, one of the biggest things with our receivers, I feel is a lot of them have some big playability, but they can't go up and make a 50-50 catch. They can't
No.
they can't make a play in
No.
coverage. So the reason why play action is so important with us is because it gives them a couple of feet of separation. It gives them a yard of
Yep.
separation here or there. If there's no separation, these guys are not going to go ahead and make plays. And listen, I love Kendrick Bourne, and I think he's got all the talent in the world. But as a wide receiver too, like if he's going out there
Yeah.
getting covered by Sauce Gardner, I'm sorry, like he'll put up
Yeah.
3 catches for 30 or something. He's not going to give you a
Nothing more
Stephon
than
Diggs
that.
performance. Exactly. Like
Nothing more than that.
but if you do open it up with a play action with different schemes and plays, I think he's a guy that's a perfect two for a team.
Yeah. I agree. I think Kendrick Bourne could be a number 2 receiver on a legit contender.
Yeah,
Like
agreed. With the
100%.
with the correct use and
Yeah.
and granted he's had some mistakes, but he's young and he's an undrafted rookie. Douglas, Demario Douglas. I think he's got some talent with him. He's
He
fast and
does.
he's
The
sparky.
consistency is not there
Consistency.
with
I
him.
don't think we're
It's
using him.
not
I
there
don't think
with
we're
him.
using him in the best way. One thing I'd really love for us, maybe it's too late now, but next season, let's get some speed. All right, let's get some more speed at receiver.
Well,
Let's
Aiden,
get some shifty guys, and
what do you
let's put them in motion. All right, let's get an innovative mind in that offensive room, and let's put them in motion. Let's have
well,
them run around a little bit. Gives
two
us some
problems there
Tyreek
though. Two
route
problems.
looks.
You're gonna turn over coordinator again?
No, I not turnover coordinator. I'm thinking, get some fresh blood in there. Whether it's a QB coach that's young, whether it's a receiver coach that wants to get him up there and have him be like a quality control
My
guy
thing is,
or
I
something.
really
Some input there.
I really don't I know. Bill O'Brien is not the problem. He's not, and I'm not saying that you are saying that. I'm saying that's why it's so goddamn concerning. It just shows that you have no good players. These
Yeah.
play calls are not bad. They're good. They're good play calls. Nearly 90% of the stuff he does, I'm like, that makes sense. That has rationale to it. That makes sense for this moment. Good play call. No one executes. No one. Not a single person executes outside of Hunter Henry, who's like, what, the 9th best tight end in the league? Just off the top of my head? Like, that's your best weapon? The 9th best tight end? Like, really? That's what you're going to give your quarterback who you screwed over last year with a DC who wasn't even a good DC as the offensive coordinator who, for the first time, another thing that was wildly concerning, for the first time in watching Mac, a lot of his picks were, oh, well, he just didn't have the arm to get it there. He just didn't have the arm strength to put it in that spot. He just missed that one. Last week, 2 horrible reads. Horrible.
Yeah.
2 reads that I never thought we'd see him make.
I don't know if you saw the analysis of like Edelman breaking down his cross field throws, cross body, cross field. Did it the one time, got away with it. 2 plays later, he's like, oh, if it worked, let me try it again.
Yep.
We've got to be like, it's disappointing. It really is. And I thought we were going to have some really bright spots this year, and it looked like we were after that Eagles game. It looked like we were going to be a competitive
team. It looked
team.
like they were actually building to something. Even if they didn't make the playoffs, it was going to be like, oh, okay. They'll go like 7-10 at bare minimum and look like, oh, they could make a leap into next season.
Yeah.
At this point, I understand it's only week 4, and the NFL is the biggest overreaction sport in the league. 4 weeks in, if you're Robert Kraft and you're looking at it rationally, you're saying, okay, I'm likely looking for a new quarterback, and I'm likely looking for a new head coach. So, Where do you go? Honestly, where do you go from there? You need a complete turnover on roster. You need to start from scratch. This team sucks. There's nothing good about it. No bright spots on the roster right now. None. With Judon being out and Gonzalez being out, no, not at all. Not at all.
I honestly, I think one of the biggest things here is that we never fully committed to, all right, like we're in a rebuild post Brady.
Mm-hmm.
We were always trying to be
just
good
trying to put a Band-Aid over it, trying to put some duct tape over the leak in the boat.
Exactly. And
now it's exposed.
We've had some decent pieces, like I think Kyle Duggar is great. I think Gonzalez is great. I love that draft pick.
Uche's great.
Judon was a great signing. Uche's great.
There's good players on the team.
But I agree. No, I completely agree. I think that we never fully commit to like, all right, we have to rebuild this team in a way. So we never got a super high pick.
Took Mac,
we never traded for extra. We never traded a top, like a good player.
Yeah.
For picks. You know, like that's a huge part of the rebuild because you need high picks. You really do. You need high picks. You need capital. And we never had that.
I was just gonna say, once you picked Mac and you made the playoffs that first year, right away, you make the decision of, well, we're not going to rebuild the roster because we just made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. Who knows where we could go from here? At that moment, you trade capital, draft capital, to get him a number 1 receiver. Because when your older roster inevitably erodes, you need that quarterback to be elite.
Yeah.
And what's the way we see developing quarterbacks isn't the same now as it used to be 10, 15 years ago. Now, you find a quarterback with some promise, throw in a number 1 receiver, and you have a franchise quarterback. That's how the league is now. That's how it goes.
Bona fide number 1 will cover a lot of your problems nowadays.
And they didn't do that. They had to decide right away when they first drafted him, we're rebuilding right now, and we're going to give this 4 years to build something. And they said, no, we're just going to add this young QB in, and then they didn't improve.
How many receivers did we have the chance to grab in recent times? I mean, we 1 pick off of Justin Jefferson.
Well, if you want to include draft picks along with receivers you could have traded for, which is what I thought you meant, there's 25.
Even this past year, I mean, there are guys that are sitting there. It's like JSN, like Jackson Smith and Jigba. You go get him. He could be Mac's number 1 guy.
Well,
I love Christian Gonzalez, but in general, it's
even a guy like Christian Watson was there when you take Cole Strange,
Romeo Dobbs. I mean, there are guys that
so many options that you just didn't take, and
we get Tyquan Thornton, and the guy can't even fucking get on the field.
He stinks. He sucks.
He can't even get on the fucking field. How many times do we have to draft a guy that can't make it to the field or make a catch on the field.
And Aiden, look at the
At
Eagles.
least draft a serviceable guy.
Look at the
What the
Eagles. Eagles miss on receiver in the draft. 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 What do? Go trade for a guy. You go trade for a guy. You go make your own luck. It's not wait for a guy to fall to you. It's, oh, this is a problem on our team. Let's be aggressive. Let's address this with a commodity that we know is good and fix it from there. I'm so done with the Pats at this moment. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
All right. Well, with all that said, just to skew from our weekly Patriot pick'ems, I'm gonna go with a Patriots win, a gutsy win over the Saints somehow after all that shit talking.
No,
I'm gonna go ahead and take us to win this one, and so we have a little bit of a difference here.
Saints
for,
27, Pats
total.
13. Book it.
All right,
Saints 27, Pats 13.
You might as well throw a bet on that exact score, because if it hits, you feel like an asshole.
Fuck them. They stink. They stink. And I love Mac. You know I love Mac, and I've been very loyal to Mac. But when I'm questioning whether you're the guy, it's not.
That was
not a good sign.
Yeah, I agree. That was a wake up performance for everyone.
That was really bad. That was really bad.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's.
I'm the guy that defended him when they lost 47-17 in the playoffs to Buffalo, which I still think is warranted. He didn't play poorly in that game. They just got destroyed. Like, what was he gonna do? But that game against fucking Dallas on Sunday, boy, his fingerprints were all over that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's been just bad after bad, multiple different showings of it, and
they're just not a good team. They're not a good team. They're not good. They're not good. We were wrong. They're not good.
Okay, so off to this next game, we're going to go ahead and talk on the Jets going to Denver against the Broncos here. 2.5-point favorites are the Broncos. 43.5 is the line. I mean, the Jets getting 2.5 points is not bad here. That's something that I'm a little intrigued with, just off that defense. What do you think?
I don't care. I don't care about this game.
You don't want to talk Jets?
I don't know. I'm a little upset about the Pats still. But I'll go with Denver because I don't want the Jets to win. Because fuck them.
He's like depressed right now.
We should have waited for the Pats at the end of the show.
Yeah, we should have. No,
yeah,
I don't blame you.
I'll go Denver. I'll go Denver winning by a touchdown in this game.
Okay, next game, we're going Panthers at Lions. Well, actually, real quick, I'm going to go Jets on this one. I think Jets plus 2.5 is something that's interesting. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to take it myself, but that's definitely one that I'm exploring. To this next one, Panthers at Lions. The Lions are home, 10-point favorites at home. 44.5 is the over-under. The Lions have looked phenomenal this year.
They have.
They are, right there with me for the Chargers, Jags, Lions in terms of the three teams that I think could take that jump to seriously be a Super Bowl, contender this year. And so far, it looks like the Lions are the only one that really are showing the dominance of, I guess, what the Eagles did last year, for comparison, So that's one of those things that is we're going to have to monitor throughout the season a little bit if they stay like they're playing like they're staying, together. They're staying hot. CJ Gardner-Johnson, their safety, their new acquisition, has been hurt. He got hurt 2 weeks ago, I believe, and they're still playing great. So you got to give them their credit. The Lions look good. 10 points is a lot. I don't know if I want to take the 10 points, but I'm going to take the Lions money line here. I think they're a wagon, baby.
Yeah, they're good. They're good, and I think I'm a big fan of the mantra of there is no small game in the NFL. Every week's a big game.
Yeah.
Every week's a big game. And there's a storyline that comes out of every single game. If you're the Lions, weirdly enough, you have a chance to assert yourself as a great team in this game. What do great teams do against bad teams? They fucking kill them. If
And
you
they
go out
cover.
there, exactly. If you go out there and you kick their ass, it's like, all right, yeah, they're for real. They didn't take them lightly. They're not taking any prisoners this year. They're going after everyone. They don't care who you are, where you are in the standings. They're gonna get the job done. So I think this is a big week for Detroit.
Yeah. No, couldn't agree more. I love how everything's panning out for the Lions. Good for them.
Yeah,
Off to this next one. Let's go ahead and talk about this Packers heading over to Vegas. Vegas is 1 point underdogs, which again interests me. I don't know. Let me get to it in a second. 45 is the over under. I don't know if there's something here with Vegas being a fan of the Vegas team. Do you know what I'm saying here?
yeah.
Because these lines have been fucking
No,
ridiculous.
I think the Packers could win this game by 2 scores. I
Agreed.
really do. And I
I
think
mean,
the Packers are far better than
and I think I
Vegas.
think the best example was, I mean, it's even less of an
The
example.
Steelers game was
but the
a
Steelers
joke.
game.
Steelers
I mean,
game was a joke. That was pathetic.
why are these Vegas odd makers or AI like algorithm systems that are making these Vegas lines? Why are they like fans of the Raiders? Like
It
this
has
is
to
crazy.
be. It has to be that they want more people to put money on Vegas. It has to be what it is. That's the only explanation I can think of.
It's not a bad explanation. I mean,
It's the only thing I think of because they're not good. They're not a good team. They're really not. The Packers are better. I think far better than Vegas is. I thought the Steelers, or we know the Steelers, are better than Vegas. So I don't know why they're in essentially these pick'ems against teams that they're not in the same stratosphere as. So
yeah.
I really don't get it.
And I do want to say something real quick. Obviously, the whole Chandler Jones thing that's been going on.
Very sad.
But a lot more has come out with the Josh McDaniels thing, where
Oh,
not
really?
just him. Well, not it's. There's been a lot of stuff. There's been a video circulating of Raiders fans walking past
I saw that.
of the
I saw
owner's
that.
booth, and they were like, "Fire McDaniels, fire
Yep.
McDaniels," and he starts yelling at them. It was a
Yeah,
pretty
I saw
funny
that.
video, actually. But then there's also been a couple different things. Let me try to remember this right. I think a couple players have liked a couple of active players. The cornerback they just got, Marcus Peters, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
he liked a tweet saying, you got to fire McDaniels or whatever. There's been a lot of stuff about McDaniels having to go, and it seems like he might be the first coach out this season. Like with everything going on, and then on top of that, I think Chandler Jones just got his like access to his Twitter back today. Whatever it is, I know he got arrested. I'm guessing he's out now. But whatever it is, and he kept on tweeting today something about along the lines of now he can't wait. He just found out that he actually got released from the Raiders like just now, and he can't wait to like expose McDaniels. So like this whole thing is going to get ugly if it's not already an ugly situation. And you just have to hope everyone in it is all right and nothing is crazy that's being
Mm-hmm.
coming out here. But with that said, I mean it looks like Josh McDaniels might be one of the first coaches to go. I mean, if it's McDaniels, Eberflus, I mean, who else are we looking at? I mean,
I mean, those are
probably the
clearly
two,
the two
unless
off the
I'm
top of
missing
my
one.
head.
Yeah, like you can't get rid of Dable. I don't think he's the issue. Like
Bill's not
those are
getting fired mid-season.
yeah, like exactly. There's no way out of respect even. But yeah, so like who knows? Either way, let's get back to it. Packers, I think they win. I think they cover. I think they dominate.
Yeah.
Give me that. And I also want to say I don't fucking like Jimmy G. All right, I know he didn't play.
Oh my
I think
god,
they should
that was
play.
aggressive.
I think they should play Aiden O'Connell for the rest of the year. And it's not because I think Aiden O'Connell is the answer. It's because I don't fucking think Jimmy G's good. All right.
And you might
I'm
as well see
sorry.
what you have. You might as well see
You might
if
as
you
well
have
see what you have.
anything.
Yeah, you might as well see what you have. You see what you have. Nothing happens. Whatever. J.C. Jackson becomes a number one corner. The Patriots start playing good. We trade for Devontae Adams, and then we find ourselves in the Super Bowl. So, no, let's
I'm
get
at
back
the point with the Pats. If they won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't even be happy.
the point of no return. Is that what this is called?
They're just bad. They're just bad. It
Yeah,
would feel like, well, you don't deserve this. It's like, it would be like You know when you're doing a like a maze on like a piece of
Yeah,
paper
yeah,
and you
yeah,
like
yeah,
draw
yeah.
through it? It would be like Bill just took a Sharpie and went right through the whole thing and just to the end. Whereas like you didn't deserve to get where you went.
Shortcut.
Like you got there, but did you
I'll
deserve it?
take it though.
No. Will I take it? Sure. Sure.
It's
But
no,
I hate them. I hate them.
yeah,
I hate
yeah,
them.
it's a rough time to be a Pats fan, but yeah, I just wanted to get that out on Jimmy G.
Yeah,
I think it's laughable that you got a
I knew
contract
I knew you weren't a
like
big
that.
laughable.
I
Wow.
think it's laughable.
I knew you were a big
I mean, what
fan,
can the guy
but
do? I mean, it's not like
Jesus.
he's all right. First of all, he does not have a great deep ball arm. Second of
No.
all, he gets hurt more than anyone I know in the
Yeah,
sport.
that is
Okay.
true.
The
This
third
is
thing
true.
here is that's not like he's freaking Brock Purdy accurate, and that's not a crazy thing. Brock
No,
Purdy
that
accurate. It's not
is
like I'm saying Drew Brees accurate. He is not even as accurate as Brock Purdy because you go in and you see Purdy going and Purdy does what Jimmy G couldn't do or not couldn't
yeah.
do, but more effectively. And, I get it. He went to the Super Bowl. Okay, but I
He
mean,
is
this is a
essentially a
team.
better Jimmy G.
Yeah,
Brock
I
Purdy
mean,
is.
exactly. He's a better Jimmy G, or maybe the guy just sucks. Like I don't know. I'm
Oh
sorry.
man. I
I don't
don't
know
think
why I
okay.
picked Jimmy G
I
to pick
think
on today, but
I think Jimmy's I whenever someone is talking about Jimmy, I'm like Jimmy's Jimmy. Like you know what you're gonna get out of Jimmy Garoppolo. Is it gonna be great? No. Is it gonna be the worst football you've ever seen? No. But is he
yeah,
good? Eh, he's
but
Jimmy.
he's
He's just Jimmy.
he's he's serviceable. He's a bridge guy. I look at him in the same light as I look at like a Teddy Bridgewater, but I look at him a little bit higher.
He's better than Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I look at him a little
He's
bit
better.
higher for sure. Um,
I view him.
I think he could be a guy that bounces around as like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type later
I
in
think
his
he's
career.
better than Ryan Fitzpatrick. I
No,
don't think
no,
that's a hot take at all. That he's
no.
better than Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I'd probably put them pretty close together. I'd probably say Jimmy just because of his playoff experience, but
He also,
um,
I mean, before he got given, he was on great teams. Before he got to Vegas, all he was doing was winning. All he did was
oh
win.
yeah. No. I mean, I think the ability to win is huge, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's even a top three reason why a
All
team's
right,
going to win. I think he's just guiding them
Jimmy,
along.
Jimmy or Mac on the Pats right now.
Who would I want?
Who would you rather have
Um,
this season? Not going into the future,
just for right now,
just for right now. Who do you think wins more games?
I'd probably honestly for that I'd probably divert to the less mistake, more experienced quarterback. I'd probably go Jimmy, but I don't think it's not like one's
I think
giving
it's
you a
close.
great deep ball. It's not
The
like one's
only
giving you a rushing attack.
the only reason, yeah, the only reason I brought that up was I
It's a good
think
point
it's
though.
damn near identical.
Very
The
close.
results, I think it's identical.
Very close. And then real quick, because this game's almost starting, Commanders owner Josh Harris, he's in attendance obviously for this big game. Do you think he has another? Did you see the handshake blunder first week?
No.
The first week of the season where
Oh
he's in the
yes,
booth and he goes to
yes,
like shake
yes,
Joe
yes,
Buck's in like the
yes.
handshake zone and he
Yeah,
goes in.
yeah.
Okay, so yes or no? Does that happen tonight? Does he fall for that again?
I think he's learned his lesson.
Okay, good.
I think he's learned
Good
his
for
lesson.
Josh. Okay, on
Maybe
to this.
maybe they try to make up for it.
They should, what they should do? They should do it again, but like this time it's like staged. Like they know, like they've set it up.
Yeah.
The internet would go crazy. Either way, the Redskins or the Commanders unis look real nice right now. Okay, off to this next game: Chiefs at Vikings, going over to Minnesota. The roaring Minnesota. Now that the Twins
what a game this will be.
well, now that the Twins are playing unreal, maybe the Vikings are going to have that home field effect. 4.5 is the line. The Vikings are at 4.5 underdogs. 53 is the over under in this one. What do you think here? Because I've heard some people that are leaning Vikings covering here. What do you think?
What's the line again?
4.5 underdogs for Vikings.
I'll take the Chiefs to beat that. I'll take the Chiefs to cover.
Okay. This game is interesting. I'm not particularly on one side or the other. I do think that the Chiefs have to figure something out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went and grabbed a receiver within the next 3-4 weeks. Or what
They
is
can
it,
they
week
can
five?
take Juju
The next
back.
three. Yo, please take Juju.
If
We'd
they
pay.
want Juju
I'd
back,
pay
they can
him to
have
take
him.
him. But no, I could really see them grabbing a receiver because it seems like they haven't. They're making up for losing
No, I
Tyreek.
agree. I
It's
agree.
worked. It's worked
I
at
agree.
times. Now that Kelsey is aging in a little bit and maybe
Yeah.
not going to be as willing to put his body on the
Yeah,
line.
it feels like it's gotten to the point where it feels like the Colts did in like 2010 when Dallas Clark was older and like Marvin Harrison was already gone for a couple of years, and they kind of like they patched it together with like Reggie. Don't get me wrong, the Chiefs don't have a Reggie Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
but it's starting to feel like that where the offense it's not getting stale, but it's getting a little predictable. It's getting a
Yes.
little bit
No,
predictable.
that's a great point. That's a great point. That's a great point. I mean, and just think about it. I don't know what it takes at this point. Maybe a first and an extra second. Who knows for Devonte Adams, or someone of that sort. You add Devonte Adams to this team, they go from the Chiefs still like that to there's why even play out the rest of the year. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like, but yeah. So this game's interesting in particular. I'm not going to touch any lines here. I'm just going to say Chiefs are going to win this game. I don't feel particularly great.
I think the
Um,
Chiefs had a good lesson learning win last week against the Jets, where it was
yeah,
like,
I mean, and
well, Mahomes
yeah,
really in particular, really Mahomes.
yeah. I mean,
He
he
didn't
need to
play
get
well.
humbled occasionally, and that
Yeah,
was a good humbling. And then he comes back against what should be a dreadful Vikings defense. So I mean, I could see him putting
he
up the
should rip them
numbers.
apart this
Yeah.
week. If they don't rip them
Yeah.
apart, then your point of needing a receiver, which I agree with 100%, it becomes even more amplified. If they're not
Yeah.
able to rip apart the Vikings defense, that stinks. Then
Yeah.
it's like, damn, we
Yep.
really need a receiver in here.
Okay. Next game, Texans Falcons. I actually like this game. This is a game that I think the Texans. I think they're good.
I think the
I like
Texans
what
win
they
again.
got.
I think the Texans win again.
And
Mostly
yeah,
because I think Atlanta stinks. I think
you
Atlanta
don't like Atlanta?
is
I
really
was gonna
bad.
say I think Atlanta's solid.
I'm not a fan of them.
I think the biggest thing there is that um you got to figure out quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think number two is like if they had, I don't know. I think they're a team that's very close to being a dangerous team. I think
Well, they could be a quarterback away.
oh my god,
They
yeah.
could be
I mean,
that
I
team.
think
Yeah.
if they move around some, and I think they have to keep Kyle Pitts though in order for that to happen because he is a type of guy that could be the generational talent to a
Kyle Pitts
dynasty.
is nasty, and
Yeah,
they
I mean,
don't use him.
exactly. Unless are we wrong? Is he not good? I don't know.
No,
I mean, who knows?
no,
Like,
because you literally see plays where he's open by 5-10 yards and they don't
no.
get him the ball. So
Yeah,
if you
agreed.
put Kirk
Like,
Cousins, if you put a guy like Kirk Cousins on Atlanta, Kyle Pitts will be getting 1,000-yard seasons.
I mean, you know what? It just works so beautifully to like. Ready? You ready for this one? Shadur Sanders.
Wow.
Somehow they convince him to go to the draft this year and leave his best friend, Travis Hunter, at Colorado. Going to Atlanta, following in your father's footsteps, and being the quarterback of a team that has
Mm-hmm.
three good running backs, including Cordero Patterson,
Right.
who's and everything. They call him a joker. That's his position title.
Right.
You've got Drake London. You've got you got some good guys. Matt Collins. They've
Right.
got some good guys. You got Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, who looks like the Jonnu Smith that we expected the Patriots to get. Um, and the defense, they added pieces. Jesse Bates is great. I think if you go ahead and you grab a quarterback like that in the draft, that could be nice. Whether it's him, whether it's a Drake May, whether it's any other quarterback that's expected to go in. This is one of the best draft classes for quarterbacks
This is
that we've ever seen.
This is a phenomenal draft.
Exactly. You
draft
take your
class for
pick at
quarterbacks.
that.
Which makes
Yeah.
me think, too, I love the theory, and I think it would be unreal if Shador ended up with Atlanta. I think he needs another year. I think that would help him a lot.
I think logistically, I don't think he leaves because him and Travis Hunter have done everything together so
Right.
far.
Right.
To leave Travis Hunter in college with a different quarterback, I can't see it happening. But the storyline would be great.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome, especially as you said, the team that drafted his dad, and
Yeah.
how
Well,
cool
yeah.
that would be. So
Yeah. Well, what they could do is, I think from the Falcons standpoint, I think they got to grab a pass rusher. You grab a pass rusher, and then you get a bridge quarterback for a year. See where that takes you, and then you work. I mean, maybe you grab Jimmy G as the bridge guy.
oh my god, Oh my god.
Who knows what's happening anymore?
Maybe
I
get
mean,
Mac
maybe.
as your bridge guy.
Well, what if the Bears have the first and second overall pick? And all right, wait, I do want to touch on this for a second. I think there's a chance here that everyone's killing the Bears here, right? Okay. I think there's a chance that next year they win their division. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds insane, but if they could figure out everything that's happening with the coaching staff and
Would you
that locker room,
stop with the
Ben,
Bears? Would you
Ben, but you got
stop?
let's just
Who's the
hear me out.
quarterback? Who's the quarterback next year?
I
Who's
got
the
you.
quarterback?
I got you. You ready? All right.
Is it going to be Caleb and then Marvin Harrison Jr.? Is that your?
Just wait. Just wait.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
They have a solid roster, right? This O line needs a little bit of improvement for sure. That's something you could do with all that. It's something you could do with draft capital. All right, I'm confident that you can do some moving around. You work on that O line. All right. This rushing attack is not bad. I think Rashawn Johnson is going to be decent. I think Khalil Herbert's solid.
It needs to be better. It needs to be better.
Of course, but I think some of that's O line. All right. I think that's not the biggest need. Receiver. Listen. You get what's his name out of there. You get Claypool out of there. DJ Moore's good.
DJ Moore's great. I would say that DJ Moore is great.
Cole Kmet is a serviceable tight end, if not more. And then this defense has some playmakers. It's definitely young and it's definitely unexperienced. Let me say something real quick though. Like you just said, I think the Bears with the first and second overall pick, they can go ahead and draft Caleb Williams. They can draft Marvin Harrison. Now you automatically have
Marvin Harrison
Jr. obviously. And Marvin Harrison,
not 50-year-old Marvin
comes out of retirement. No, but you can.
You know who else would come out of retirement if that were the case?
Who, the sheriff?
The sheriff.
Keep that sheriff keep him in the holster. keep the sheriff in the holster. No, he. So I think if they go ahead and they do that, you get not only one of the best quarterbacks we've seen coming out of college. In my opinion, I think he's more touted than Andrew Luck. I mean, just the amount of hype he's been getting. I think it's possible, Ben.
I think people like the flashiness of Caleb Williams more than Andrew Luck.
Well,
but I've never in our lifetime, even more than Trevor Lawrence, we've never seen a more for sure will be a great quarterback than Andrew Luck. He was mini John Elway / Peyton Manning when he was at Stanford. There was no way that he was going to bust out. There was no chance. So for that reason, I would go with Andrew Luck.
Yeah. So I, he's definitely up there, if not, but one of the things here is you go ahead, you get that quarterback. Okay. Now you have the receiver to pair with him. What we were just saying before with the Patriots, when we were talking about the Patriots, you get a number one receiver, a bona fide number one receiver that can make or break a quarterback nowadays. Right. You get that, you pair him with another great receiver in DJ Moore, and you pair him with Cole Kmet and a decent rush attack. That offense, I'd say,
it's a good offense. It's a good offense.
It's a good offense. Now all you do is you work on that defense a little bit. I think that's a team that could make that type of Eagles. I guess they're more so comparable to the Bengals jump that it would have been.
I understand the rationale.
I think more so. Sorry, I think more so than the organization or the roster wise is the issue. Plus, on top of it, I forgot to mention, you could trade Justin Fields for picks, whether it's like high picks or not. You could trade him for some picks.
It'll be like a fourth.
But what I'm thinking is the biggest thing here is it's not in the player personnel. It's in the climate and the culture of that organization. If they could solve that, I think the pieces can fall into place with the way that it's panning out for them.
Who do you bring in to coach if you do that?
I mean, I saw someone throw out a scenario where they did all that stuff and then they got they brought in Harbaugh from Michigan, which I don't even know if you do it, but I mean you get Caleb, Marvin, and Harbaugh, you're definitely going to be looking much better. Okay, well, enough with the fantasy land, but we'll touch on that at another point. This Texans-Falcons game again. I think this is very interesting. I know, completely. It's so far away. I'm going to go. We'll blaze through the rest of these. I think that the Texans are going to win this game just because I don't think the Falcons' offense can keep up at the moment. I like what the Texans are doing, man. I really like it. I think plus 1.5 is great.
Got to credit to Mika.
Yeah, 1.5 is great. He's my if I'm not missing anyone, just off the top of my head, he's probably my coach of the year as of right now,
I
just
don't
for
think
what
that's
he's working with,
debatable.
right?
Maybe Dan Campbell.
I was gonna say Dan Campbell, and I was gonna say if the Dolphins get back on track, maybe Mike McDaniel's as well. But
Yeah,
yes, 100%.
yeah.
Who do you like in this game?
I'm gonna go with Houston. They for some reason or another, one reason or another, they got it going right now, and they're in a good rhythm. And I mean, obviously, CJ Stroud's gonna have that game like any young quarterback would, where it's like, "Welcome to the NFL, young man."
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I just don't see this opponent being that team that does it to him. I'd be shocked if this is the team that finally does that to him. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston.
All right, off to this next one. We're looking at the Titans. Um, at Indianapolis. They're going to go ahead and play the Colts. Colts are 2.5-point favorites. 43 is the over-under. Jonathan Taylor is back from the IR. I don't know. It's not confirmed whether he's playing or not this week just yet, but he is practicing, full participant. I mean, this is a team that looks like they could just ride behind Anthony Richardson as long as he stays healthy. And so,
Yep.
like, it definitely intrigues me. I mean, this is an interesting team right here. This is a game that I can't really, decide on. I think I might just take Colts +2, but it's not a pick that I'm going to lock in. But that's something that I would definitely explore.
I'm gonna take the Titans in this game. And I think we gotta maybe start not giving them a ton of credit, but what we were saying
Yeah.
earlier in the year was Mike Vrabel's going to win you some games, at least 7 of them. He's going to get you at least 7 wins. And I think this is going to be one of them. So I'm going to take the Titans this week. Uh, Vrabel versus a young quarterback, I think it might be a bit of a Bill in his prime versus a young quarterback. Vrabel reminds me a lot of Bill when Bill was himself.
Yeah. I mean, Vrabel has been spectacular since he's taken over. So, um, off to this next game. Cowboys is most likely game of the week here. Cowboys are going and playing the 49ers. 49ers are home, 3.5-point favorites. 45 is the over under. You know, I think the 49ers win just because I don't think we've seen a team this dominant in a while
Mm-hmm.
as this 49ers team. I think the 49ers win. I think the Cowboys have some things to address, some issues to address, front to back. And I just think the Niners don't. I don't think the Niners have anything. I don't think they have any flaws right now. So,
Yeah. And I'm sticking with my 49ers go undefeated take from a few weeks ago. They're going to win this one as well. This team is so goddamn good. They have no holes anywhere. None. None whatsoever. It Dallas's defense, Purdy's been so calm and collected throughout his what? What is it? 13 starts now, somewhere around there.
mhm.
It's not even I don't think he's going to be rattled at all with Michael Parsons in his face all day. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, front to back, like we said, this Niners team is
They're insane.
they're
Best team
so
I've seen
good.
since the '07 Pats. Bar
They're
none,
so
not even
good.
close.
All right. Eagles going and playing the Rams. Rams are the home team here. 4.5 is the underdog. Is the line that the underdog Rams are getting. 50.5 is the over under. What do you think about this game? I mean, this is an interesting Rams
I
team. I
think this is
cannot
interesting. I think this is really
I
interesting.
cannot put my fingers on what this Rams team is because they
They
look
look
great and they
they
look
look great and then they
awful.
look awful.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
and they're getting Cooper Cup back. So
Exactly. I'm going to take the Rams to win this game. I think the Rams are going to win.
I like that pick.
I think
I like that pick.
The Eagles have been doing this, man. I really don't care what their record says. They almost lost to the freaking Commanders. They gave up that touchdown with no time left on the clock last week. Um, Gave up that last minute drive. I don't care about the record. I'm a big process over results guy. And their process to this point, regardless of the results that they've gotten, hasn't been good enough. It hasn't. And I think the Rams have been a bit of the flip. Their process, I've been wildly impressed by it. Their quality of play has been so much better, and maybe I'm giving them too much credit in this sense. They've been so much better than I thought they were going to be. I think they're going to give. I still don't think they're a playoff team, but they're going to give some really good contending teams. They're going to give them that surprise loss of the year where they're like, oh shit. At the end of the year, they circle it like, if only we didn't lose to the Rams. And I think that's going to be that kind of situation for the Eagles this week.
Yeah, I have to give the Rams credit. And one thing I do want to mention though is the Eagles had a bad loss against the Commanders. It looked like it was trend or last year. It looks like it might have been trending that way last week. The Eagles squeak it out. I agree they haven't looked their best. You know, they're not fully functional yet.
I'm
But
I'm
I
kind of
just yeah,
worried. Are they? Because at this point, it's been what 4 weeks now
yeah.
of them not playing great. Are they just complacent with that and they're just waiting for the playoffs? Is that the game plan now? It's been a month. It's been a month of
Yeah,
this.
I mean it's a good point. I don't really know what the situation is with them, and I think everyone's been wondering it. But I'm not gonna back down on my wave here.
Big
I'm
Weagles guy.
yeah, I'm just gonna have to ride with the Weagles here. If you want, this is an early candidate for Tipsy Bowl of the week.
I'll take Tipsy
Um,
Bowl in this. I'll take Tipsy Bowl.
okay, so Rams Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles. Ben's on the Rams.
Well, Benny's
Um,
Bucks are on a bye week, so I can't take them for
yeah,
Tipsy Bowl this week.
yeah. Okay, next week or next game. Ravens at Steelers, 4.5 points. Steelers are underdogs. 38 is the over under. I mean, now that we're looking at this, you've got a Steelers team that's been very underwhelming. Matt Canada still has a job, which gives me
He
hope that I
did
can
you see
become an
that
offensive
burner
coordinator
account
soon.
stuff?
Yeah, wait, so yeah, you want to explain it a little
Apparently,
bit? I've
apparently
seen
he used his work email to start a burner account on Twitter, and then he was saying, "Well, like, what's
come on,
Matt
man.
Canada like supposed to do with this offense? Like, blaming people and stuff like that." And apparently, he like threw shade at Tomlin on the account or something, which is just pathetic. The like what really like we're gonna blame Mike Tomlin for the Steelers right now?
Yeah. No, you
Like really? Like, dude, you're the problem. You're the problem.
Oh my
You
god.
suck.
It's just I feel like it's
That's
just
like
another
me
one of
having
those
explosive diarrhea and like I blame anything other than the amount of Taco Bell I eat. Like that's like you're just not a good offensive coordinator. You're just not good.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing what he does. I mean, the running game is not there. There's nothing's going right with that. I mean, you think
They're
George Pickens is
not
going to
good.
be
That's
great, and then
another
nothing.
team. I really don't think they have much talent outside of TJ Watt. Like who is there? Who is there? You're gonna give me Pickens?
I mean, I think there is guy. I mean, like Micah
I think
Parsons,
they are the
Cam
same
Hayward, but
thing.
like if you go on the offensive side, I don't think
I
Najee. I
think
don't think Najee's the guy.
I think
I
they're the
don't.
same thing as the Pats. I think they are identical teams. I think they have no speed. Their O line horrible. Two young quarterbacks that don't quite have the arm and don't have enough of a support system around them. Two legendary coaches who are kind of floundering right now and not performing as well as everyone expects them to year in and year out. I think the Steelers and the Pats are essentially the same thing right now. Except with the Steelers, you swap in TJ Watt for Matt Judon, who's just a better version.
Yeah. Well, so Kenny Pickett is on track to start as of right now. What do you think about this game? Steelers are 4-point underdogs. Who do you like? And the Steelers are home in this one.
Gonna take the Ravens to cover. I really like
Okay.
what the Ravens are doing. Ever since we talked about Lamar a couple of weeks ago, he's been on it and he's been moving all around the field and he looks
Yeah.
like Lamar again. One thing I wanted to say, I was thinking this. I was thinking of you when I was watching the games. Do you think that his receivers being hurt are helping him in a way? Because now he's back to being himself. He's not looking for different reads. He's not looking for different receivers. It's kind of like, is Andrews there? No, he's not. I'm going to run. He's going back to his play style. Do you think that continues when he gets everyone back?
I think what it is, and I agree that this is a good thing. I think that they're finding out that they can still win and play great
Mm-hmm.
offensively, or at least do enough offensively without putting Lamar's body at risk as much. And so they're doing that. So it's not used to what we are seeing from a Lamar led team. So that's why we think there's something off. But what it really is just showing that they're versatile enough
Yeah,
to have a
maybe.
functional offense without Lamar running. And I'd be interested to see in hopefully a week coming up. Maybe it's this week if TJ Watt's getting some pressure. I'd love to see push comes to shove, Lamar goes back to running. If they could show that they could do both of those things at the same time, this is a Super Bowl contender, you know?
I agree. I agree.
I agree. And I mean, after that, now I'm all fired up. I'm going Ravens as well.
Yeah. I like them. I like the Ravens a lot this
Yeah.
year.
Okay, next game here, we've got final one that we're going to talk about here. Bengals are at Arizona playing the Cardinals. 3 points. Does that mean snooze fest?
Awful game. Awful game.
That means snooze fest?
That was a mix between a snooze and a shit.
3-point dogs are the Cardinals. 44.5 is the line. I mean, Bengals and Burrow cannot do anything offensively.
No.
Cannot do anything offensively.
No.
Honestly, the Cardinals have looked very impressive. Very impressive for what we've thought.
Who drove? Who took a bus? Fucking loser.
they look.
I just made a snoring shit noise into a microphone, and I am a better human being than that guy.
Well,
that's telling.
Well, the one thing I do want to mention here is Josh Dobbs has looked impressive at points this season.
Sure, I'll give him credit.
I got to give him credit. Yeah, I got to give him credit, man. I mean, good for him.
Also,
he just got there too.
Hollywood Brown somehow grew hands over the summer. Like, good for him. I didn't know he had those. But yeah, no. In all honesty and no joking, the Cardinals have impressed me. They've been a lot better than I thought.
Yeah. Should we just?
I'm gonna take the Cardinals to win this week.
I was about to say.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals to win. I think Burrow. Why is he still playing? Aiden. Correct or incorrect? Everything I said would happen if the Bengals played Burrow last week happened.
Yeah. No.
Everything happened.
And on top of that, 2 things with that. Burrow came out and said that this week was the best he's felt coming off of a game all season, which is interesting. And then the second thing there is he said that it's a must-win game. So now
no shit, Joe.
Yeah, but also he puts, by saying that, you put more pressure on the fact that, like,
if you lose,
yeah, exactly. Like, shit has fell apart. If they lose, I don't think it's out of the possibility. And he maybe, isn't feeling the best with that calf. I think it's very possible that he goes on IR for an 4-week period, whatever it is, just to give him some time. I mean, it's definitely possible.
I think they should be sitting him already. If it wasn't the Cardinals that they were playing and they didn't think that they would win the game, I don't think he'd be playing. Say it was the Chiefs, I don't think he'd play. I really don't.
Okay, we need a temperature in the room game of the week. What game do you think is going to be the most physical, most heated? I'll give you one. I just have a feeling it's going to be Titans at Colts. I think those 2 teams in division, I think the Colts and the Titans are 2 similar teams that, you don't really know what to think. One's overperforming, one is overperforming for what we think they could be. I think it's going to get physical, but it'll be a fun one to watch. What do you think?
I'm going to go Ravens-Steelers. One of the most iconic rivalries of the last 20 years or so.
You're right.
Kind of known for being as physical as it is.
You're right. I forgot about that one. Yeah, that is temperature in the room pick.
If you want me to do another one, I can do another one. I just have to think real quick.
No. I do like that one.
Okay.
We're gonna do one a week. We're gonna both agree on it. That's the one.
Okay.
Good point though. Good one. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. NFL Week 5 on the horizon. About to start. Thursday Night Football is about to kick off right where we are. Thanks for watching, and Thrive Fantasy, man. Get in there.
We'll see you. You know what? I hope we see them on Thrive Fantasy. I hope we run into each other there.
Well, yeah. DM us. Exactly. Yeah. DM us. We'll talk.
Let's hang out. Let's chat each other.
Let's hang out
on Thrive, on Snapface, the Bill Belichick Snapface. Let's hang out.
Snapface. Yeah.
Tell me your story. Let's talk about it.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
See ya.